Hi, hello, and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto, and our epic journey through the history of Formula 1 continues today with the 8th and final round of the 1952 season, the Italian Grand Prix. It was held on the 7th of September, it had 35 entries, 24 of them took part in the race with only 9 retirements overall. The race consisted of 80 laps completed in 2 hours, 50 minutes and 46 seconds. To absolutely no one's surprise, Ascari started the race from pole. Villoresi was second on the grid, third was Farina, Maristintignac occupied the fourth spot on the grid, and Gonzalez rounded up the top 5. The race was won by Alberto Ascari, again to no one's surprise. Gonzalez finished second, 1 minute 01.8 seconds behind. Villoresi came home in third, 2 minutes 4.2 seconds after Ascari. Farina finished fourth, 1 minute 11.4 seconds behind, and Felice Bonetto crossed the line in fifth. He was 1 lap down. Interestingly enough, the fastest lap was shared between Alberto Ascari and Jose Froilan Gonzalez. They both set a lap time of 2 minutes 6.1 seconds, earning both of them half a point. Here we are at the outstanding Monza circuit, which starts off with a very long run into turn 1, a fast right-hander. You will need to feather the throttle through here in order to successfully make the corner. Next is Roggia, a fast left-hand kink. Be careful here as you could fly off the track if you go too fast. Next are the Lesmos, 2 medium-speed right-hand corners. The back likes to step out here as you exit both corners, so careful with power application. Next comes Curva Via Leone. This one could be tricky if your tires are cold, but once they get up to temperature it should be a breeze. Finally, we have Curva Sud, 2 90-degree corners. Brake hard into the first one, a quick burst of power, easy on the throttle as you exit the second 90-degree corner. We then come onto this very long straight, and that is a lap around Monza. And here we are for qualifying, starting from the pit lane this time, because you'll see in the second why. And there's your answer. There are 2 cars right in the middle of the track, one in the middle of the track and one in the middle of the pit lane. Hopefully that won't affect us too much. And as we start our fast lap, I come through Roggia and you see I lose control of the car. That's how dangerous it could be if you come too fast through there. And here we are coming around to set our first lap time, a 1:45.5, which is 1/10 of a second fast, slower than pole time, which gives me a lot of confidence as we come into Curva Sud to set another lap time. However, I go in too fast, crash into the hay bales. That loses me a lot of time. I try to come around through the second 90-degree corner. However, I crash again, losing my front right wheel this time, and that is the end of qualifying for us, unfortunately. But at least we managed to put in a decent time. Hopefully we'll start from a good position. As we look at the grid walk now, we have Ascari on pole, Fischer in second, Nino Farina is third, Piero Taruffi is fourth, and Jose Froilan Gonzalez rounding up the top 5. In sixth we have Andy Higgs starting from a very good position. Mike Hawthorne is 7th, Peter Collins 8th, Robert Manzo 9th, 10th is Eric Thompson with our rival the Graffenried in 11th, starting from quite back. Jean Berra is 12th, Dennis Poor 13th, Villoresi 14th, Felice Bonetto is 15th, Ken Wharton 16th, Alan Brown starting from 17th, Paul Frere 18th, Maurice Tintina is 19th, and André Simon starts from the very back in 20th. So, here we are at Monza, the Temple of Speed as it's also known. Hopefully we'll be able to have a good race. Obviously this is a big race for both Ferraris and Maserati, so I'm expecting a lot of competition this race. The flag drops and we are off still in 6th here as Jean Berra moves in front of us. We have Mike Hawthorne right behind us. Hopefully we can gain a few positions as we come into Curva Grande, which is coming up right now. Slow down into 4th gear, make sure to slow down enough, and a lot of cars lose control through here, barely make it through there. A bit of lag as well, not sure what that, well, I know what that is. It's because of all the crashes. And we move up into 4th now, and then down to 5th as Peter Collins overtakes us. And now we take a look at the start once again. Very tightly packed at the start there. Not a lot of room to work with, but we managed to survive as well as everyone else, but not for long, as we'll see. Here we have Piero Taruffi coming around Curva Grande, goes wide, crashes into the hay bales and loses his rear left. Next we have Hawthorne in his Cooper, losing control of his car, crashes into nothing really, and he is out of the Grand Prix as well. Next we have Paul Frere in his Alta, loses control, crashes into something. He's upside down and without either of his front wheels. Next we have Felice Bonnet on his Maserati, losing control of the car. He keeps it straight, however the AI's pathfinding kind of goes south, and that's the end of his race. Next we have Nino Farina, who comes through Lesmo, a bit too tight, crashes into the hay bales and he is out of the race. Next we have Rudi Fischer in his Ferrari, loses control of the car, then one of the Altas crashes into him and they are both out of the Italian Grand Prix. We're now looking at Manzo in the number 10 Simca, who crashes into the Ferrari. He loses his front left and he is also out. This is Ken Wharton in his Fraser Nash Cooper, loses control of the car, crashes into the fence there and he is also out of the race. Next we have Peter Collins in the Alta, who crashed into I think that Ferrari we saw earlier. Loses both of his front wheels and he is also out of the Grand Prix. And here we see Alan Brown in his Cooper coming into Curva Sud, loses control of the car. One of the Ferraris straightens him out, however again pathfinding goes south for the winter and crashes into the world's strongest hay bales, and he is also out of the race. So that's, I believe, half the field out of the race on the opening lap, as we now come through this left-hander on lap 2. And if you thought retirements were over, no they're not, as Jean Berra comes around through Lesmo, crashes into the Ferrari of I believe Alberto Ascari there, who is trying to straighten out his car, and Berra is also out of the Grand Prix as we come through Curva Sud, the first part of this double 90-degree turn, and we are alright on lap 3. We saw Ascari there still trying to do something, as we see Andresimo in his Ferrari losing control of the car, spins it around, still doing well, as we see one of the Maseratis and then drives straight into the fence. It seems he's trying to straighten out the car, but no, the car warps through the fence as we see another Maserati go past, and there we see another Ferrari, couldn't see the number, who actually managed to save the car pretty nicely, as we once again come into Curva Sud here. Make sure not to do the same mistake we did in qualifying. That was quite embarrassing, and we saw another Ferrari at the side of the road there. Hopefully he can get back into the race soon enough. Lap 4, starting to build a gap on Eric Thompson, who is in second. We are leading the race, by the way, I forgot to mention that, and we see Luigi Villoresi in the number 4 Ferrari coming through Lesmo 1 there, losing control of the car. There's Nino Farina in the number 32, Alberto Ascari, sorry. He straightens Alberto Ascari, and Villoresi drives in the opposite direction of the track and crashes his car. What more can I say to that? That's kind of weird and awesome at the same time. I really don't know what to say. That's something I didn't expect to see, really. But anyway, after a while, everything settled down until lap 16. We are still trying to build a gap on Eric Thompson. He is about 6.5 seconds behind us, and we see Alberto Ascari losing control of his car on the straight. Then Dennis Spohr in his Connaught comes around, crashes into Ascari, and that's one hell of a scary crash. And there it is again. We saw from with a focus on Poor there. That was one hell of a crash, really. I don't know about Ascari, but Dennis Poor would have died if that was in real life. But anyway, with Ascari out, Andy Higgs is the only Ferrari driver left in the race at this point. Lap 17, still trying to build a gap on Eric Thompson. Not really going too well. The gap is quite stable at the moment, as we see Trintignant coming around Curva Grande, losing control of his car, flips it around, and that is pretty much it for his race as well. Sooner or later, I think I'll be the only one left if this goes on. That would be quite odd. Lap 20, and Eric Thompson is out of the Grand Prix. He was following me quite nicely until now, with a very consistent gap of around 5 seconds between us. However, that was enough. But first we take a look at Jose Froilan Gonzalez in his Maserati coming into the pit. We see all the cars that have retired. Quite a few. I think that's most of the field out, and obviously Gonzalez will retire as we see another Maserati going by. And here we see Eric Thompson coming into Curva Grande. He goes wide, hits the hay bales, and he is out of the Grand Prix as we once again come into Curva Sud on the second 90-degree corner in Curva Sud. So I think that, yes, lo and behold, the only one left in the race besides us is our rival De Graffenried, who is almost a minute behind, and now on lap 27 coming around to finish the Italian Grand Prix. We come home in second. De Graffenried is 1 minute behind us. He gets to finish second. What an interesting surprise, really. The two rivals managed to finish the race. I also managed to post the fastest lap of the race, which is absolutely amazing. That's one extra point for us. And here we have a look at the retirements. Well, pretty much everyone else. 18 drivers out of the Italian Grand Prix. But at least 2 Italian cars were left. One Ferrari, one Maserati. Disappointing to some degree, and kind of nice in other respects. So that means we not only win the Italian Grand Prix, we also win the 1952 championship, which is absolutely amazing. But anyway, here are the career statistics. This was Andy Higgs' 23rd Grand Prix. His best start is 5th, no pole positions yet. He has set 5 fastest laps. His best finish is 1st, has a total of 9 wins, out of which one was at the Indianapolis 500, has 2 championships won, has a total of 99 points, 8 retirements, has experienced 492 out of 646 total laps, has 3 bronze trophies, 1 silver trophy, 9 gold trophies, and as an extension 9 podiums. And here we have one final look at the championship standings. Absolutely amazing. Andy Higgs takes the win for a second time, making him the first in history to not only defend his title but to be double world champion, which is absolutely amazing. De Graffenried finishes the season in second. Very well done for him. Peter Collins is third. Eric Thompson is fourth, and Froilan Gonzalez finishes in 5th. So those are the top 5. Obviously there are others who finished in the points. 15 of the 20 racers, and unfortunately the person who actually won the championship has failed to finish even one race. Alberto Ascari, we see him at the bottom of the tables there. Very, very sad for him, but Good for Andy Higgs and good for the Graffenried. He did very well this season. Has scored more times than us actually. We have 4 retirements and 3 retirements and 1 finish outside of the points. But anyway, that is the end of the Italian Grand Prix and the 1952 season. Just as a reminder, you can still vote as this after this video goes live. You'll have about 2 or 3 hours extra to vote for next season's team if you haven't done so yet. So make sure to do that if you still haven't done that. But that is it from me and this video. Next time we'll meet, it will be in the 1953 season. New tracks, new drivers, kind of the same teams, minus a couple. But anyway, that is it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, stay sharp.